Hello and welcome to Winchester News Online. I'm Molly Keane. Coming up today, rats take over the streets of Winchester, a new GP surgery is on the way, and Winchester Cathedral is royally lit up. A decade after Winchester was reported as the #1 rat hotspot in the UK, and 2 years after an infestation at the prison, rats are once again back in the city. But why? Jodie Kelly investigates.
Rats have once again evaded the streets of Winchester, and this time they seem to be here to stay, with multiple sightings of the creatures being reported across the city. When commuters and visitors step off the train here in Winchester, the sight of a rat is not the most welcoming. However, it has been a squeamish reality for many.
They're everywhere. I'm afraid they're everywhere.
It could just be changing temperature. It could be like an actual change. Why are they coming in? I don't think it means that Winchester's dirty.
I remember seeing a rat run across the road one day and just being very oh my god, what is that?
But what is luring these very rodents to Winchester?
If you imagine a railway line is built up on an embankment, so those embankments are quiet routes through the cities and the towns. Also, they're a little bit overgrown. And so what nature will do, and rats will do, but foxes, other nature will do, is they use those as routes, almost like a highway, a safe way to move around throughout the city.
A spokesman for the council has said,
"The presence of greater number of rats around the station has been reported to our environmental health team, who are working with Network Rail and South Western Railway to address the issue, including what preventative measures can be taken by the rail operator."
But for now, residents of Winchester hope for a long-term solution to this pest problem. Jodie Kelly for Winchester News Online.
Hampshire County Council has been criticised after its decision to make cuts to the funding for support to sexual abuse victims. The County Council have pulled out of a joint contract with the Independent Sexual Violence Advocacy and Sexual Crime Therapeutic Service, saving the council around £80,000 from April next year. However, the Chief Executive of Community First, Tim Horton, has claimed that this will have a significant impact on the level of service that victims will receive. St Clement's GP is getting a brand new build. The new state-of-the-art facility should be unveiled later this year after much anticipation. Alice Barnes discovers more.
A new St Clement's GP surgery is under development. On Upper Brook Street, the building, constructed by Assura, a specialist primary healthcare developer, is underway. Construction began on March 6, 2023 and will hopefully be finished this autumn. It will replace the current practice located on Tanner Street. Winchester City Council agreed to sell the site to a specialist in 2020 to enable the project to go ahead. The current surgery has around 17,000 registered patients and is based only a few hundred yards away from the new facility, meaning disruption to patients should be minimal. When the plans were originally released, Susie Burns, a GP at the original practice, had this to say.
So hi, I'm Susie Burns, I'm a GP at St Clement's in Winchester, and these are the plans for our new building, which is massively overdue. We work in a 1960s really old-fashioned building in the centre of town. We've got 17,500 patients and very little space, and we have been trying to build a new surgery for years, and finally we've got one developing. We're looking at developing something that's sort of fit for the future, that incorporates people being able to be consulted with digitally, remotely, or being seen in person.
Ali Young from the NHS commented,
I am delighted to see this project moving forward, and for the staff at the St Clement's Surgery to have a state-of-the-art facility to provide patients with the care and support they need.
The new development is on the corner of Upper Brook Street. It has new facilities for staff and patients alike, with 15 consultation rooms, 3 treatment rooms and a large reception. The new building also includes a new interactive health hub, a space for primary care network services and a chiropractor. This multi-million-pound facility should be finished by autumn 2024. This is Alice Barnes for Winchester News Online.
The developers of Bushfield Camp have promised 60 acres of the land will be dedicated to publicly accessible green space. An application was submitted in October to turn the former World War II Army barracks into a business park, but was met with many complaints from residents. The developers have since been working closely with the local community and stakeholders to maximise the potential of the 100-acre land. And now we head over to Reese in the sports studio.
Thank you, Molly, and welcome to WINOL Sport, bringing you all the latest local action. A game of the season contender took place over the weekend as Eastleigh faced Solihull Moors. 6 goals, a further 2 disallowed and a 90th minute equaliser meant it proved to be an exciting game. Joel Marriott takes us through it.
After getting a new manager at the end of February, Kelvin Davis and Eastleigh have gained 6 points in their last 5 games. Solihull, who are 4th in the National League, have cemented their place in the playoffs with 10 points from their last 5 games. After a slow start to the game, with Solihull dominating possession, all it took was one free kick from Eastleigh to get themselves in front, and it was none other than the league's top goal scorer in Paul McCullum, with a towering header. They say that lightning doesn't strike in the same place twice, but that was the case here after a lovely passing move from Eastleigh resulted in the main man getting his second of the match with yet another header. Eastleigh had the chance to put the game to bed in the first half as Chris Maguire drove towards the Solihull goal only to be denied by the last line of defence. With the form that McCullum is in, a first half hat-trick was looking certain, and it nearly came, only for the goal to be disallowed for offside. Solihull knew they had to change something in the second half if they wanted to get anything from this game. This chance cleared by Eastleigh within moments of the restart. Solihull's luck did change as Jamie Osborne picked up the ball on the edge of the box and released a stupendous strike past Joe McDonnell to pick up his second goal of the season. A goal that good, it would be a crime not to watch a replay of it. However, Solihull's mood would be sent straight back down to rock bottom as Eastleigh went up the other end and scored, and there was no surprise as to who it was again. McCullum, who got his hat-trick and took his total for the season to 29. In the 74th minute, Solihull gained hope as Jack Stevens managed to pick the ball up inside Eastleigh box and slot it away to make it 3-2 heading into the last 10 minutes. Tempers flared in the dugout as Solihull's manager Andy Wing picked up a booking from the referee. Then in added time, Tavon Campbell did his best Paul McCullum impression and got on the end of a cross to level up the game. With full-time looming and Solihull piling on the pressure, the Spitfires thought they'd been shot down, as Campbell once again managed to find the back of the net, only for it to be ruled out for offside. A game that had everything, finished 3-3. Eastleigh felt they'd thrown away 2 points, Solihull still on course for promotion. Joel Marriott, Winchester News Online.
It was a top-of-the-table clash in the Hampshire Premier League as Liphook United hosted league leaders Infinity. Rich Bessie's side are looking for back-to-back promotions after their withdrawal from the Wessex League 2 seasons ago. Taylor James Greer covers the action.
Infinity's title-winning chances took a hit after their narrow defeat to Liphook United, which means Rich Bassey's side failed to make it 14 points clear at the top of the Hampshire Premier League on Saturday. There was near to none chances as top goal scorer Harry Osman had the best chance of the game after his lacklustre shot. But 2 goals in 2 minutes was enough for Liphook. Tom Bedford capitalised on a mistake from the goalkeeper, as Billy Alcott's over-head kick, who scored his 21st goal of the season, saw Liphook cruising at the break. Infinity controlled the majority of the second half, with Horned Enon, Aaron O'Brien, and former Havant and Waterloo youngster Liam Brewer coming close for the table toppers. Infinity were back in the game as Brewer's cross was headed in by Mark Smith. Liphook had to play the majority of the second half with 10 men after a second yellow card, but Infinity didn't capitalise as Karen Harris's men looked victorious in Petersfield. Only a handful of teams played this weekend due to postponements including Lockheath and Stockbridge. Infinity is still top of the Hampshire Premier League despite the defeat against Liphook. Paulsgrove's trip to the New Forest saw them left empty-handed after their 2-0 defeat to Sway.
Yes, it's official. It is now 8 points with 8 games in hand for Liphook. So how have they reacted to the victory?
The thoughts were it was always going to be a tough game. It's top of his seconds, big game, a lot riding on it. They're a good side, they've got good players, you know what I mean? So they was always going to cause us problems, and they did second half, to be fair. Like, we'd sat in a bit deeper, we didn't want to sit too much, but we thought if we sat in it on the counter, might get a third and kill them, but didn't happen. But 3 points is all we wanted and got, so yeah.
Liphook will travel to Siddlesham in 2 weeks as they take on Infinity in another season-defining game. Taylor James Greer, Winchester News Online.
Now for our exclusive look at military football. Winchester's Adjutant General Corps were back in action last week, facing off against local rivals, the Royal Artillery Corps. Guy Nicklinson has the highlights.
The first noticeable chance of the game fell to the away side, but striker Levitt was smothered by Harford, who closed down the angle well. AGC came close as this Cody header was palmed wide by Jepson. This floated ball around the outside of right-back Penn Hallerich found Levitt, who drove inside and stung the palms of Harford, the best attempt of the match so far. A strong leap in the box from Glasgow led to this spin and acrobatic effort from Levitt, who looked frustrated he didn't get more power on it. Set pieces were looking promising for the AGC, but Magici could only find the outside of the post in this instance. This powerful run into the box from Pearce was looking promising until Jepson stopped him in his tracks. Only the crossbar prevented the RAC from taking the lead on the brink of half-time. This fantastic cross from Bow carved a great chance for Pearce, but his header was directed wayward. Another chance was spurned by the AGC as the ball wouldn't come down quickly enough for Manson. Midway through the second half, the RAC claimed a handball and penalty. But after consulting with the linesman, their request was denied. The ball looked like it was going nowhere here, but a sublime piece of skill helped 2 RAC substitutes combine and the ball was sweetly swept in. The deadlock was finally broken after the first real bit of quality seen in the match. AGC continued to battle away and Pearce was brought down out wide just as he was getting away from Irvine. There was one last chance for the AGC to draw level, but this time it was Cody who was unable to direct his header on target.
I think after we conceded the goal, it became difficult then because we were chasing the game. Went for it in the last 15 minutes and pushed 2 up front, but unfortunately it wasn't our day. I think it was a combination of us not really playing well, quality lacking, but I thought the RAC, to be fair to them, they actually played well, played to their strengths and made it difficult.
So a 1-0 defeat here for the AGC against the RAC. Both sides massively struggled in the final third. The AGC will look to bounce back in their next game. Guy Nicklinson, Winchester News Online.
That's all we've got time for this week. Back to you, Molly.
Winchester Cathedral was lit up this week in a captivating light and sound show to celebrate art and royal history. I went to explore this one-of-a-kind installation. Winchester residents have the opportunity to visit an exciting new attraction this week. Partnering up with the Luxmuralist Artist Collaboration, the independent charity Historic Royal Palaces have created the Crown and Coronation Immersive Light and Sound Experience. After launching at the Tower of London in November, the display is visiting various cathedrals and castles across the country. The art installation shows the crown jewels, as well as various kings and queens of England, including our current monarch, King Charles III.
As a cathedral, we want to be open and welcoming to all people from Winchester and beyond, and just taking a really creative approach to what the cathedral is. It's obviously a place of worship, but it's also a place of community, of art, inspiration, where people can come together to be united and renewed with the things they do. The things that you can see here in the show just completely bring the building alive. As you were saying, like, it's a place that's steeped in history, but you can see it brought to life in completely new ways through the light and the sound, the songs, Zadok the priest, and Handel's music as well. So there's something for everyone, really.
Speaking to the public on opening night, many enjoyed the atmospheric soundscape.
I've been something similar in London, but this was better because it's in this huge cathedral space. It's really majestic. I love the lighting, the music. It's really powerful, really emotional.
I have enjoyed it. It was very enlightening. This vivid story of royal history will be running from the 4th until the 8th of March. Molly Keane, Winchester News Online.
That's all we have time for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.